My name is Possible, and I'll be your tutor for today. Now, in our previous lecture, which is lecture 1, lecture 2, and lecture 3, we're looking at the introductory aspect of macroeconomics. Today, we are going to look at business cycle. Business cycle is other aspects or other thematic area of macroeconomics. Why? Because in the economy, there are some times that we face some challenges, and there are other times too that we face economic boom, right? So we are saying that the economy is like a human system. Sometimes it functions well, and sometimes it doesn't function well. Sometimes you face joy in your life or happiness in your life, and sometimes you face sorrows in your life. That is how the economy is. So the economy also sometimes faces some shocks, right? And that is what brought forth the concept of business cycle. So business cycle is the fluctuation that occur in the economy. The fluctuation that occur in the economy. And what at all is the economy? The economy is the activity that takes place. So putting it there, we could say that business cycle is a fluctuation that occurs in the economic activities. Putting it differently, business cycle is the up or the ups and the downs in the economic performances, or the ups and downs in the activities of the economy. So that is basically what business cycle means. The ups and downs or the fluctuation that occurs in the aggregate activities. I'm giving you a lot of interpretations or a lot of definitions. The ups and downs that occurs in the aggregate activities of the economy. That is the business fluctuation. And then from there, we look at the diagram of business cycle. You say that the business cycle diagram is like this. And then here is time. And then here is red GDP. Here is 0. And then this one is called trend. It is trend because at normal circumstance, the economy has to be moving in this way, in a positive direction. Right? The output for the year 2020, output for the year 2010, output for the year 2010, if it were 100, it was supposed to be somewhere 200 in the year 2011. In the year somewhere 2012, it has increased to somewhere 300. But that isn't how the economy is. Sometimes the economy, it doesn't increase, but it rather decreases. So we are saying that is abnormal circumstance, and that is how the economy is supposed to be. So the trend shows us how the economy is supposed to be, how the economy ought to operate. Right? And then straight away from there, we look at the time. We measure macroeconomic issues with respect to time. That is why we said that GDP for the year 2020, national income for this, exchange rates for last month, interest rates for the morning. So macroeconomic issues, we measure them mostly with respect to time. And that is why we have time here. And then here is red GDP, because the business cycle focuses on the fluctuation that occurs in the red GDP, or the economic activities, not nominal GDP. Red GDP. What did I say? I said red GDP. Red GDP. That's what I mean. Yes. So yes, red GDP, and here is time. And then we are saying that the business cycle moves like this, goes this way, and then it comes this way. So it's a zigzag diagram. It is in a zigzag form. That is the business cycle. in zigzag form. Why is it in zigzag form? Because we are saying that in the economy, it is not always moving in accordance with the trend. Remember that we are saying the trend shows how the economy is supposed to move, but that is not how it is. So if the economy doesn't move with respect to the trend, then how does it move? And we are saying that it moves in this zigzag format. It moves in this zigzag format because sometimes in the year you record a downturn. Here we call it trough. Trough. T-R-O-U-G-H. Trough. Sometimes you record trough in the economy. That means there is a negative growth in the region. The economy is not performing well at all. That is what is called trough. It is the minimum point of the business cycle, right? And then from there, we have the maximum point. Maximum point is called peak. P-E-A-K. Peak. That is the peak. That is the maximum point of the business cycle. Good. Now, we could see that from here, the economy was up here, and now it's coming down up to here. Or here, the economy was up here, and it is coming down. So from the up here coming down, we are saying that the economy is contracting. The economy is contracting. Red GDP is decreasing. So contraction or recession. The economy is contracting or recessing. So we are saying that the economy is contracting here. There is a contraction in the economy or recession in the economy. So contraction is a decrease. Is a decrease in the rate GDP, or it is a period where the rate GDP keeps on decreasing. And then when we come down here, the trough is the same thing. Now from here, you will see that from the trough here, the economy is performing better. So we are saying that here is called expansion. So from trough, in between trough and peak, that is the period of expansion. In between trough and peak, if the economy is rising, if the line is rising, we are saying that is what? Expansion. And then in between peak and trough, if the economy is descending, we are saying that is called what is called? That is called contraction or recession. Nice one. And then we have the trend. So we have trough, we have peak, we have expansion, we have contraction. These are the thematic ingredients that must be in the business cycle. So let us look at them one after the other and then explain them well. Now the trough, which is the minimum point. Now you know that the trough is the minimum point. Trough is the minimum point. And it marks the end of contraction. When the economy is contracting, as soon as it reaches the trough, it begins to expand. So we are saying that trough is the end of expansion and the beginning is the end of contraction, is the end of contraction or recession, but the beginning of expansion. Trough is the end of contraction, but the beginning of expansion, and it is the minimum point of the business cycle. That's the definition. Peak is the maximum point of the business cycle, Peak marks the beginning of contraction. It marks the beginning of contraction, and it marks the end of expansion. Peak marks the end of expansion and the beginning of contraction. But trough marks the end of contraction and the beginning of expansion. Nice one. So that is the peak and the trough. I've explained them. And then expansion, when you talk about expansion, it means that there is a positive growth in the real GDP. The real GDP is increasing. So when we say expansion, we are saying that the real GDP is increasing. And then we have contraction or recession. When you hear recession in the economy, it means that there is a negative growth in the real GDP. The real GDP is decreasing. That's it. Nice one. And then straight away from here, having understood the business cycle, straight away from here, let us look at other important terms. Now, when the economy is recessing, or when the economy recesses for a longer period of time, we call it depression. We call it depression. There's a depression in the economy. And then when the economy expands at a faster or at a fastest rate, we say that the economy is booming. The economy is booming. So economic boom is the rate at which the economy is expanding at a faster rate. I hope it makes sense. Nice one. And then we have economic downturn. It is the same as negative economic growth. Negative economic growth means there is a negative growth in the real GDP. So economic downturn is like that. Okay. And then from there, we also look at economic growth. I said economic growth is an increase in the real GDP or an outward shift in the PPF. I hope it makes sense. Nice one. So let us end with the characteristics of business cycle. So we are saying that there is a fluctuation in the economy. Yes, indeed. The reason why we are looking at business cycle is that we are looking at the fluctuations in the economy. So one major characteristic is that there is a fluctuation in the economic activities. There is an up and a downturn in the economy, right? And then we are saying that there is no co-movement of economic variables. There is no co-movement in economic variables. So all these things are some of the characteristics of the business cycle. And then we measure the business cycle against time, right? Nice one. So in our next lecture, we are going to look at the cyclical behaviors between the variables in macroeconomics. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you can get access to our next lecture. Bye bye.